Hi, I'm Jill Novak from Sister Science, and for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to be your guide. I would like to share with you some high-level Ayurveda principles and explore how they lay the foundation for your deep healing. This is where we want to go. First thing, it helps you understand how to become an ally with your body. We want you to understand the cues, the nudges, the sensations, the symptoms that your body's sharing with you by means of communicating so that you can recognize them and respond to them with a sense of accuracy, with a sense of clarity, with tools in your tool belt to be able to understand and respond to what your body wants. Our goal here is to show you that healing doesn't have to be complicated, not at all, but it does require kind of a shift in paradigm. It requires a different way of thinking and a different way of doing things. So we start from there. This system connects you to you, essential. When you are connected to you, not only does that bring you into healing, innate healing, but it also allows that expansion that some of you might be feeling, like the niggling, the nudging, the craving for expansion. Before I get going too much, let me just go to my slideshow. Ayurveda is self-care, and we want you to know that how you take care of yourself is your health care. We live in a world of symptom management, and we're constantly looking for something that can help us quiet the symptoms, get rid of the symptoms, stop the thing that's happening to us that feels like it's causing the problem. And we never let ourselves get to that root cause healing. So we really want to go there. I'm Jill. I started this journey because I had a breast cancer scare. And it brought me to a place where I knew that this scare was asking me something more. It wasn't asking me to have a double mastectomy. It was asking me to come into relationship with myself in a new way. And so I did. That was 2008. And so since that time, I have become a yoga teacher, a yoga therapist. I have learned Ayurveda, become an Ayurvedic practitioner, a yoga health coach, and in the last 6 years have developed a program that is called the Year of You. And this program, this community happens within Sister Science. It's a thriving community of people who are taking their health back, owning their own power to heal. And it is just a thrill for me to be leading this community and bringing you into it. I feel like I have a track record. I've gotten people off their meds. I've helped women have babies. People who have autoimmune issues find that they are having fewer and less severe flare-ups. People have been told that they no longer have arthritis. So this stuff is real. We have just never been taught that we can believe it, trust it. We have no role models to show us how to get there. And yeah, it just feels a little bit elusive to us. I want you to know I do have extensive training. Back in the day, I have a University of Calgary degree in communications, but since then, over 10,000 hours of training and equally over 10,000 hours in experience. So if that's the sort of magic number to sort of be an expert at something, I've put the time in and I feel confident in my ability to show you this process. If you're here, you're probably knowing that there's a different way to do this, that there's a more aligned way to be going through life. You might be curious about letting this intuition guide you, and yet there's a bit of a block there because you have no idea how to let that happen. Perhaps you are someone experiencing physical symptoms and it just feels like your days are filled with constant symptom management, going to external experts to get a diagnosis or a prognosis or a solution of some kind. And this is really energy draining, sort of that constant seeking of solution And we look everywhere for it. We look to doctors and specialists, we look to supplements, we look to different modalities of treatment. And I think the biggest commonality is that we're really good at looking outside of ourselves for that fix. We're not really good at looking inside of ourselves for that fix. You probably really want to understand what your symptoms are telling you, and you would love to know simple, effective practices to address the root cause, but yeah, that might not feel available. The other thing that I find is that people come here because there is something, and see how I'm doing this, something inside of them that is saying, there's more. There's more. I want more. And it is essential for you to be connected to you, not only to heal and solve the problems that are root cause wellness, but to bring out what we call dharma, what we call life purpose. Because if that's feeling is in you, then you also want to be connected to you, because we want that dharma to be able to come into fruition in this lifetime. I want to give you those high level principles about what Ayurveda, just so that you understand the methodology, the ancient science that I use to give language to this healing that we are all about. Ayurveda is personalized. It is preventative. It is participatory. You have to be active, and it is predictive. It is holistic healthcare. It originated in India 5,000 years ago, and it claims to be the oldest continually practiced healthcare system in the world. And I want to juxtapose healthcare to our modern medicine sick care. Our modern medicine system is really good at taking care of acute physical injury. It's really good at patching and band-aiding symptoms. We're really good at prescribing a drug for an ailment, but we are not good at mind, body, spirit together, taking care of it as a complete whole entity. We like to sort of separate all of that out, and our modern healthcare system doesn't like to combine them. Ayurveda at the very root says they cannot be separated. These things are innately tied to each other. Let's just look at the word. It comes from the Sanskrit language. Aryu means life, and Veda is science or knowledge. So this translates to knowledge of life, science of life, the science of life and longevity. Ayurveda cares very much about your vitality and your longevity. They don't care so much about how long you live, but how well you live. It's a different way of thinking about things. And as I teach you the words, the thinking, the ways that Ayurveda has to invite us into wellness, your paradigm starts to shift. The questions the conversation you have with yourself, the way you are in relationship with your own body shifts as you learn this language of Ayurveda. Its primary goal is to maintain your wellness. Its primary goal is to maintain your wellness. Secondary goal is to cure dis-ease. I want you to read that as two words, dis-ease. Western, I'm going to call it modern. I don't know if it's necessarily always Western. Modern medicine can diagnose dis-ease at what Ayurveda would call stage 4 of the disease process. So Ayurveda says you could start working at stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. By the time Western medicine can give it a label, we're already at a disease in our bodies. But Ayurveda is like, why do we wait till stage 4? Why don't we start balancing things? Why don't we start bringing things back into wellness when we notice stage 1, 2, or 3 happening? So when we can back ourselves up, it's a whole new way of approaching our world. I just want to address some of the things that block you from diving into this invitation that I have for you to participate in the year of you, to declare a year of you. It is not at all the paradigm of healthcare that you're used to. you're used to seeing a doctor, getting a prescription, going home and taking it, and sort of being fixed or not. We don't live in a culture that's taught us to trust ourselves, and we don't really know where to begin. So this one is more sort of a, does your body tell you that you need to start taking care of itself, and allowing yourself to listen to that intuitive nudge, intuitive calling, intuitive invitation is not even something that you've been trained to do. Listening to ourselves, listening to our body is not something we've been trained to do. So that could be stopping you right there. You've never invested in yourself before. This was a big one for me, and I think the breast cancer scare is sort of what tipped me over the edge so that I was willing and able to finally invest in myself and do it in a way that I knew I wasn't being selfish. I want to tell you that if I declared my first year of you in 2008, I have discovered wholeheartedly that when I take care of me, what flows from me is more abundant, more nourishing, more supportive of all the relationships that I am surrounded with. My kids, my parents, my husband, my sisters, like my family. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of us have blocks around investing in ourselves because we have a story about it being selfish. We have a story about not being important enough, not being worthy enough. There's a lot of conditioning there around that. But the biggest investment we can make is in ourselves and in our wellness. If we don't have our health, we don't really have anything. This next one, you fear the change and don't want to upend your life. So a program like this can be daunting because you're like, oh, what am I getting myself into? If any of you have read the book Eat, Pray, Love, or watched the movie, she literally, Elizabeth Gilbert, or played by Julia Roberts, literally upends her life. Leaves everything off to Italy, where she eats her way through Italy, and then moves on to Bali, I think. But yeah, like this is not what this is about. We are not upending your life. You're not going to have to make drastic changes. You don't need to leave your job or, leave your partner or anything like that. You can make change within the existing structures of your world. Just know that. Let yourself understand and hear that we work on small, sustainable changes, and we let your awareness guide those changes so that they all come from a deep, wise place in you. You worry that prioritizing yourself might disrupt existing relationships. Yep. And that's a tough one. We will bump up against things where implementing certain change disrupts a pattern. It disrupts what time dinner is served. It disrupts what time we might be getting up in the morning. It disrupts how early we want to go to bed. It creates new curiosity, new experiments. And as we go through those experiments, we might need to be telling the people in our household that we're living with, please support me. I'm trying something new here. And the more we can learn how to communicate that we're trying something for our own best interest, I find that usually we can go through it in a way that we can ask for other support and they will give it. So I definitely talk you through this because it is a big part of why a habit sticks and why a habit can be hard. Yeah. The last one, deep down, you know that this will change you. And as the quote goes, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And I know that feeling of being afraid of our power. There feels like there is this huge responsibility. And I know the feeling of not knowing at all if I am ready or capable of shouldering that responsibility. And I want you to know you are. And the reason that I invite you to be in this course for a full year is because I want you to be surrounded by support and community as you build that belief in yourself. Really important. Good. Sister Science uses a very particular methodology to get you the results that you need. There are 4 pillars. I'm going to call it method to my madness. These methods are important. So the very first thing that we want you to find is ojas. This word translates to capacity, vitality, immunity, strength, endurance. It is your ability to hold the life you want. If you feel like your energy doesn't give you the bandwidth that you really want to do all the things that you're interested in doing in life, that's your ojas. And we want to bolster that. We want to create your container to be big and strong so that whatever life you want to put inside this container, it can hold it. There's no cracks or leaks. It's not, moldy or smelly or sticky. It's like clean and it is strong and it is capable. And that is ojas. So our very first goal is to help you land in that ojas. Secondly, connect. Connect to prana, life force energy. Connect to universal divine wisdom. Connect to you. I want to make this a default practice in your life so that you feel like you are not only in relationship with something deep and wise and true and authentic in you, but that piece is where you make decisions from. So our second goal is to create the practices for you that bring you into connection with this deep, wise inner knowing, this innate wisdom, this intuition, this universal knowledge. Number 3, practice viveka. Viveka is a Sanskrit word that means discernment, specifically keen discernment. When you have keen discernment, you know your yeses and you know your nos. And once we get communicating that, so the first thing is to know it, the second one is to communicate it, because we can know it, but we dismiss it and we say yes to everything that our body's saying no, 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 and we say yes anyway. Or fear makes us say no to something that our body's screaming yes, yes, yes around. So we want to be clear. And the first 2 things, good ojas connected prana, help us come into clarity. Ayurveda uses the word ama, and ama means undigested waste. It means stuff that's gunking and clogging up the system. And we need to clear and clean that out so that you have keen discernment. You have the ability to say yes and no. Know what's right for you, nourishing and good, and what's bad for you. This is about creating firm, loving boundaries. This is about having radical self-care, protecting your energy, guarding your sleep, and not people-pleasing anymore. It's about letting go of worrying about what other people think. I mean, easier said than done, right? I'm going to tell you that all these steps are simple. I never will tell you that they're easy. They are simple, but they are not easy. You're finally going to be prioritizing yourself. Can you hear why I need you to stay in this course for a year? This is a paradigm shift in how you think and what you do. Finally, find svasta. I want you to enjoy embodied wellness. I want you to find an easeful relationship to your life and have a toolbox of skills that repeatedly return you to ease and balance, hopefully at step 1 of dis-ease in your body. You'll get so good at recognizing that I'm out of sorts. What do I need? And you apply the equal and opposite thing that you need, and you bring yourself back into balance. This word svasta in yoga, it means seated comfortably in yourself. You know how sometimes you sit down and as soon as you feel a little bit of boredom coming, you grab your phone or you eat something, like you're distracting yourself from being alone with yourself? We are gonna try and settle that down so that numbing and distracting aren't our default relationship with ourselves. In Ayurveda, that word svasta simply means health. So feel that metaphor there. We're being seated comfortably in yourself equates to health. Your well-being is based on how your relationship with yourself and how easily it is for you to hang out with you. Yeah, important. So what I believe I know of you. You already know key things that would help you. Your intuition tells you all the time what would help you. You need to know how to trust those things and trust the voice that's telling them to you. Learning Ayurveda often is not learning something new. It's often coming into access to something that your body already recognizes as truth. You'll learn something and your body will go, I knew that. You don't know how you knew it or why you knew it, but your body knows. You just need the tools and you need to know how to implement in your life, and you need support so that you can get good at using them. The wisdom that's within you is more effective and efficient and accurate than anything external. Deepak Chopra has a quote that says, modern medicine knows but 10% of what your body knows innately. So again, we want to bring you back to this divine engineering, the design of this, which is perfect. And when we allow ourselves to return and be an ally of the design instead of assuming there's a design flaw, we can bring ourselves towards healing. When everything aligns, when there is a congruence of mind, body, spirit, when these voices inside of you, your mind, your body, your spirit, your breath, your intuition, your emotions, your mental state, mind, when they are all in agreement, when they can all sit around the boardroom table and agree on something, you come into congruence. And that congruence is svasta, is health, is seated comfortably in yourself. So my job here is to help you access, interpret, and trust yourself. My big goal. All right. I'd like to do a short meditation here. This is something that we do all the time, over and over and over again in the Year of You and in Sister Science courses in general. This drop-in method is repeatable, reliable. You can do it anywhere so that you can tap into your own wisdom. And when we lift out of this, I have 2 questions for you. And I'd like you to just journal the answers to those 2 questions. So you might even scribble on your page before we start. What are your desired outcomes for life, for your wellness, for the next year? And my second question, what do you already know is true about how you can support that to happen? What do you already know is true about how you can support that happening? Do you like my little quote up here? Awareness is the greatest agent of change. This one constantly reminds me that I sometimes don't need to know what to do. I just need to notice that I'm seeing things differently. Notice that I'm aware of something that I wasn't aware of before, and that is enough. Just that awareness is enough to open up options and possibilities and new opportunities and ways of seeing and interpreting the world that I didn't have before that awareness took place. I love it. All right, so we're preparing for meditation now. You've written down the questions, and when you come up, you're going to answer those questions, and you'll bring this work then to our call together. Okay, get yourself comfortable. Close your eyes or cast your eyes down and take a deep breath in. Exhaling it out. Feel the breath moving in your body. Perhaps coming in your nose, filling your belly, releasing back out your nose. Breath is always right here in the present moment, not in the past, not in the future. It is the best tool to bring us right here, right now. And let's drop through those different parts of you that communicate with you. Just feel your physical body. Scan it briefly to notice where you're comfortable, where you're not. Notice if there's any areas of tension, maybe even pain, stiffness, tightness. What does your skin feel for in terms of temperature or breeze? Maybe you're noticing what you can smell, hear, feel, taste. If your eyes are just cast down, maybe see. Maybe you're just aware of the darkness behind your eyelids. This is your Annamaya Kosha, your physical layer. Feel now the breath that activates your body, this life force energy drawn in on your breath that distinguishes being dead from being alive. Notice how your body trusts the inhale to bring it everything it needs and allows the exhale to leave, to release, to let go, knowing that the next inhale will rise again. Check in with your mental state, peeking in on the busyness of your brain as if you're opening the door of a baby's bedroom, hoping that you won't wake it. Notice what's going on inside your brain. Observing it the way you would if you were sitting in a movie theater watching what's going on the screen. You can witness it without getting tangled up in it. Allow yourself to drop now to the next layer, to your emotions. If you sat down beside your heart, just figure out if it will tell you what it's feeling today. Please notice that you don't need to fix or give advice or support or change. Just be with it. Notice what your emotion wants to share. When you drop down a level deeper, go to your intuition. This place where that knowing is. Your gut instinct, your inner knowing. Stuff you have no idea why or how you know it. You just do. And feel all of these layers of you and how they inform how you are, what state you're in, and how they can tell you what they need. And just get clear on that inner capacity to communicate with you. What does it feel like to just be here to listen? What if you asked yourself, what do I need right now? You feel the answer. And then expand that. What do I need in life? What does my wellness need? What do I need this year? And feel the desired outcomes as requests from your different layers, as requests from your mind, body, spirit, breath, emotions, intuition. What desired outcomes do you want for your well-being in this next year? I want you to feel that and then take a nice deep breath in and out. And then just ask your body, what do you already know? What do we already know? What do I already know? Would help me achieve that? What do I already know would get me progress and traction towards those desired outcomes? Lovely. Before we lift out of this meditation, can you thank your being, physical layer, breath layer, mental and emotional layer, your intuitive self, and how they all gel together to become you? Can you just feel gratitude for the wisdom that's already here? Deep breath. Sigh it out. When you bring your eyes open back to our call, you're going to put pen to paper and begin to write. And instead of keeping you on the call here, I'll say goodbye. I want you to know if that was hard, know it gets easier with practice. And sometimes it's easier some days than it is others, but we're going to get you good at it. Download, write, get good answers to those two key questions. What are my desired outcomes? And what do I already know? I will see you on our call. Thank you for doing the homework. I appreciate you.